Bush, and welcome to another edition of Shooting Plink. Today we're not going to be shooting at all. In fact, what we're going to do is we're trying to sight this new Skinner scope. That's right, Skinner scope. It's hard for me to get myself wrapped around because I've been so used to their fantastic peep sights. Well, now they got a scope that I hear is just as good as their peep. I guess everybody that's shot it says it's just so perfect. No, we're going to be finding out, but we're not, as I said, we're not going to be shooting today. In fact, when we do shoot this thing with the scope on it, I think we're going to have Brandon Rogala with us, and so he can kind of give us a second opinion on this stuff. He is, of course, with Scott County Conservation Department as a ranger, so he's in law enforcement and has done a lot of shooting. And with this, I've also, by the way, when I mounted it, over here I had an extension for this Henry. This is the Henry H015-223. It's a single shot. So bore sighting it is a little bit different. If you can have the right sort of a setup where you can have it like this, you can look down the bore and look up here and you can bore sight it. But I don't have that type of setup. It'd be kind of hard to do. So I got one of these little gadgets. And we've used this before in the past. You may remember that. It's a laser. You screw this little end of it down and it lights up, and you stick it in the bore and you sight down and try to match it up. I'm not that thrilled with these laser things. I've used several different ones. Laser light has probably worked about as good as any of them, and that one fits in the end of the barrel. This type, I really thought this would be great, but when I sighted that other one in, it didn't, to me, it just didn't do it. We're going to find out what it does, though, with this really, really nice scope. And by the way, this is not just your crosshair scope. This also has a red dot, which has 6 intensities to it. And this little knob over here, it's got a 2032 battery in there. You turn that and you can set whatever you want in intensity. And here's the thing that I've had a lot of people already ask me when I told them about this. They said, does it magnify the dot? I don't think so. Anyway, I checked it out. No, it does not. As you increase your magnification back here, which by the way is 1:6, and it's a 24. It's a 1:6 by 24. And as you increase it, it does not increase the size of that dot. Only the intensity increases it a little. And it's right dead center in the crosshair, so you know it'd be quite useful. But here's the nice part about it, and I'm going to try to show you this up close. I hope you can see this. Right here, this is the knob, get a hold of it right here. Alright, if you can see the numbers, there's a dot between each number. Each one of those dots is actually an off switch. So you can be rotating it, say you want it to 4 or whatever, and you want it, okay, I'd like to go back to 3, but I don't want it on right now, I want to wait until later. You can do that. Put it on that and it'll turn it off. You don't have to go all the way around to turn it off. It'll turn off in several different locations between each number, by the way. So that's a very, very good feature. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to sight this in at 50 yards. I've got a big cardboard up there with a white target on it, and we're going to try to put that laser on there. That's another thing. I've never been that impressed with these at long distance, and we're just going to have to see if it works. Might end up just having to shoot it and sight it in, but I would really like to try this and see what happens. I have in the past sighted them in at like 25 yards and then shot them at 50 with something like this. But again, I'm not that crazy about these, but let's give this a try. So let's go over the 50-yard range and see what we can do. I zoomed you in on that cardboard and paper. I'm not sure where I will put this light. At first I got to turn it on, and I have done it. If you can see there, probably not. No, I can't, because I put my hand up too close, so I don't know how we're going to do here, but I'm going to load it into the gun like you would a regular round. The only difference is this will not eject it, because the little ejection lever don't work with this thing. So we'll stick that in there, put it up there, pop the scope open, and we'll see what we got. Oh, I can see the dot. This thing really shows you too where you want to go with it. Oh man, it is just so easy. Jesus, thing just, this is the first scope I mean, this is like a really high dollar scope. This thing is beautiful. Very, very clear. I wish you could see it. Right now, I have got that tuned on to that dot that quick for dot to dot. And I don't know if you can see that dot up there or not. I'm going to try to move it over to somewhere, because I cannot see the dot. That's how perfect I've got it. It's unbelievable. And that's at a 50-yard one. It's just, I'm going to actually try something here. I don't know if I can do it, but I hope I can. I'm going to try to let you guys see down this sight. And I bet I can't. I really, really hate that. A little bit I can. There we go. Hopefully you can see that red dot that's in the middle of that and how clear this side is. This is, and I know it's cockeyed, and we're not aiming at really anything, but I just want you to see this. I mean, you're getting some, if I can do it just right here, without, I had it there for a bit, didn't I? There we go. Okay, you can see it some. I mean, that scope, that is just so perfect. All right, we got back here. I'm going to show you some of the features that I really like. I mean, this scope, to me, is just super. Let's get the laser out of here. As you can see, it will not eject it, so you have to do it yourself. And I'll lay this down because I got to turn this thing off. As you can probably see here, it's yeah, there, it's on, and you have to unscrew this little end here. There you go. Now it's off, but you have to be real careful, because if that thing gets bumped one way or another, it's either going to go on or off. Now up here, I've already got this off, I think. I'm going to have to take a look. This is the thing I like, are these right here. These, oh, it's over here. There we go. These covers, you're not going to lose them because they're right on the rifle. Yeah, it's still got the red dot. So what I got to do over here is I've got to turn that to one of those notches like I told you about, and it should now be off, which it is. And without it, it's just a regular sight, no problem. I'm going to shut this back up. And another thing you've got, this is optional. You can put it on, it comes with it. You can either screw that on there, and this is a lever where you can go from whatever power you want, from 1 to 6. The 1 is nice because if you want it just like a regular red dot, you can have it because it's down to 1. That's it. But I was using that up here on about 4 when I adjusted that, and it adjusted extremely easy, and I want to talk to you about that. These, I already told you about this, of course. These come off and on very, very easy, and you know how some of them, they just don't want to match up right. Here's the thing I like about these. A lot of these, and I know you've run into them, have got like slots where you put a screwdriver, a penny, something like that. It slips off, you try and adjust it. What a royal pain. You'll get it done, but it's just a pain. Or they got the thumb adjustments, which are much better. But I just ran into one that unless you got smaller hands like I do, or even smaller yet, you're probably going to be hurting because the thumb thing is inserted. It's recessed actually in it. What a royal pain for the wrong person. I mean, even me, I wasn't really happy about that, but it worked. These have got extremely easy, and you can hear them, the clicks. You got a lot of the adjustment. Here, you can see what I'm talking about on it. And you can just grab that knob and do it. You could see how easy it was when I adjusted that over there. Is it adjusted properly? It might be that laser if it isn't, because I got a feeling this thing's going to put it where you want it. It's just a super, super scope. Of course, like I said, I've always been a huge fan of the Skinner peep sights. And I got stuck on those when I got a Henry rifle that had one. It was, they're called small game carbine. I call it a target shooting carbine because that's what I used it for. And unfortunately, I went ahead and I sold that one time. I wish in a way I had that back. That was a nice little gun. Anyway, I'm getting off on the Henrys. But this sight, like I told you, I mean, if you're familiar at all with Skinner peep sights, and any of their sights, any of their products, period, because they got other products too. They got gun cases. Geez, I don't know what all he's got now. You'd have to take a look at their website. So go to the website and take a look at skinnersights.com. But anyway, this scope, retail-wise, I know that's a question that a lot of you have. Well, how much is that thing going to cost? Because you know the price of a very, very good scope as to what is going on. And you can see this thing just goes on here so easy. I didn't have to worry about cross-threading or anything. It just went right on. But that retails, I think, for about $2.99. But if you go to the Skinner Sights website right now, I think they got it for $249. So you can get one for $249, and then you can get the mounts, and these are excellent mounts. When I was putting those on the gun, I've dealt a lot with different mounts too, both rimfire and for the Picatinny reels, which this is, and these are just super. You know, I've, like I said, Leopold, I like theirs real well. There's some others that I can't think of right off my mind, but these that Andy's got are really, really nice mounts, and it matched up pretty good. The only problem I had, of course, and here's something too, that when you're gonna, and it doesn't make any difference whose scope you got, on this rifle you better have an extension right here for the hammer, because you can't get your finger in here otherwise. And I just happened to have an extra one, and I had a regular big boy, which worked for this single shot, which I'm glad it did, because now I got it and I can use this. And as I said, we're not going to shoot it today. But here's the thing that I did have a bit of a sticky wicket with, and that's getting this scope back far enough on this single shot. And Skinner really doesn't put anything on their website about this being for the single shot rifles, because I was looking at that, and it gives a lot of the Henry models, but it doesn't give that 0.15, or at least not that I could see. And this is an H015. And so I had to move this, I had to bring the mounts all the way back, as you can see, to the last one, and then this was moved all the way back to as far as it was, so that I could have enough eye relief to have it up here. Now, I don't know if that's really too close on this or not, but that's about where I got to have it. So you can see, I'll look this way. There's where I have got to do it, I'm sure. Get it out of the way, then we'll see. Okay, right here, that's where I've got to be to see clearly. So you can tell about how far away I am from that scope. Extremely clear, as I tried to show you over there in the 50-yard range. So that's it. That's just the information on this scope and what we have done with this Henry H015-223. And as again, we're going to be shooting this, and probably Brandon Rogala will be with me. If not, I'll be shooting it myself, and then Brandon will come along to give us a second opinion on everything later. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.